Right. So, imagine a Swiss farmer. One arm. No electricity, no money. Now, imagine that same man produces over 1,000 of the clearest UFO photographs in history. Not blurry lights, but actual metal ships. This is the Billy Meier case. It's either the biggest hoax in human history, or, well, the most important event since the wheel. Let's dive in. Edward Billy Meier, born 1937. He's a character, right? A wanderer, a night watchman, and in 1965, he loses his left arm. This detail is crucial because skeptics say he built complex models and rigged wires to fake photos. Proponents ask, how does a one-armed man rig invisible wires in a storm without anyone seeing him? It's a valid question. So it starts officially in January 1975. Meier claims contact with a being named Semjase. She's not a little gray alien. She looks human. She claims to be from the Pleiades star system. She tells Meier he's been selected as a truth offerer. And unlike most contactees who get, vague telepathic vibes, Meier claims he's having face-to-face chats for hours. Check this out. Most UFO photos are blobs of light. Meier's photos, they're absurdly clear. He calls them beam ships. Sun glinting off the hulls, trees in the foreground, mountains in the back. He takes them in broad daylight. Critics say they're too real. They look like models because they're too perfect. But supporters say, hey, that's what a spaceship looks like if you're standing 50 feet away. Then we get the wedding cake ship. It's controversial. Skeptics say it looks suspiciously like a garbage can lid. Proponents, they say, no, look at the welding. They argue a one-armed man couldn't build such a complex model. It's a stalemate of interpretation. One man's spaceship is another man's trash can lid. So, enter the investigators. Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Stevens. These aren't just weekend hobbyists. Stevens was a fighter pilot. They spent years, literally years, at the farm. They looked for the hidden darkroom. They looked for the models. They found nothing. Just a poor family living in a farmhouse. Stevens admitted he lost his objectivity. He was convinced it wasn't just photos. Meier recorded the sound of the ships, a screeching, warbling noise. Investigators took it to sound engineers, guys who worked with Stevie Wonder. The verdict? They said it wasn't a synthesizer. It was a complex analog sound. Multiple frequencies changing rapidly. To fake it in 1976 would have required, a Hollywood studio. This is the smoking gun for believers. Marcel Vogel, senior scientist at IBM, holds patents on magnetic disk coding. He puts a metal sample from Meier under an electron microscope. He finds thulium, rhenium, rare earth elements bonded in a way he says, quote, we could not achieve on this planet. Cold fusion synthesis. That's heavy. But here's the catch. The sample disappeared. Vogel lost it, or it was taken. And other analysts said, wait a minute, this is just silver and copper. So we're left with a video of Vogel's analysis, but no medal to peer review. It's the classic UFO frustration. The best evidence vanishes. Right, so what about the ground? Landing tracks. 3 circles in the grass. But get this, the grass wasn't broken, it was bent, swirled counterclockwise. And it stayed that way. It didn't die, it just kept growing sideways. How do you do that with a board and rope without breaking the stems? And then it gets weirder. Meier claims the aliens let him shoot a laser gun. He shoots a tree. We have photos of the hole. We have photos of the gun. Skeptics say it looks like a toy. Believers say, look at the burn marks. Again, it's physical evidence that relies entirely on context. Now we have to talk about the Dean Martin problem. Meier released photos of the aliens, Ascot and Nera. Turns out, they were photos of dancers from the Dean Martin TV show. Meier's defense? He says the men in black or intelligence agencies swapped his real photos to discredit him. Plausible deniability? Or busted? And the earthquake. Meier produced a photo of San Francisco destroyed by a future earthquake. The problem? It was a painting from a GEO magazine article. Critics pounced. Meier said the aliens projected the future image, and maybe it looked like the painting because the painter had a vision. It gets messy. But then you go back to the films. 8mm footage. A ship swoops around a tree. The branches sway. Special effects experts, guys who worked on 2001, A Space Odyssey, looked at this. Wally Gentleman said, "I don't think a one-armed man could do this." He estimated it would cost $50,000 to fake it in a studio. Meier did it in a field. And the drama. Meier claims there have been assassination attempts on his life. Shots fired, bullets deflected. He says he's a target because his message threatens the status quo. It adds this layer of high stakes to the whole saga. So, why are they here? It's not just to show off cool ships. The message is heavy. It's anti-religious, actually. They talk about the creation as a universal law, not a god. They want humans to take responsibility. Overpopulation, environmental destruction. It's a strict, almost stern philosophy. Then, he goes time traveling. Seriously. Meier claims the Pleiadians took him back to meet Jesus, who he calls Jemanuel. He claims to have photographed the Eye of God. This is where many people check out. It moves from UFO sighting to messianic journey. It divides the room instantly. Here's the million-dollar theory. Some investigators think maybe some of it is real and Meier faked the rest to keep people interested, or maybe he was fed disinformation. It's the contamination theory. Because if even one photo is real, the implications are world-changing. But if one is fake, does it ruin the whole batch? Today, it's not just a guy in a field. It's FIGU, a non-profit organization in Switzerland. They publish the contact notes. They teach the philosophy. It's a movement. Meier doesn't give interviews anymore. He writes. He's 89. He stuck to his story for 50 years. So, is Billy Meier a genius manipulator who outsmarted scientists, sound engineers, and the CIA with one arm? Or is he the most important contactee in history? The evidence is messy, it's compelling, it's frustrating, but it's definitely not boring. Exactly.